That's the role that B2C enterprise plays. Now we have Salesforce Commerce, we've had B2B, but now we're introducing Salesforce Commerce for B2C. The big difference here is that they're all built on the Salesforce platform. There's some sharing that can happen. I'll go over that in just a minute. We also have order management on the Lightning platform as well. And we have a new payment solution, which is embedded into the Commerce engine. So, why is that significant to have commerce on the Salesforce Lightning platform? So, obviously, we just talked about it. It's opening up a new channel. It's a new revenue source. You're going to be connected. You're going to have access to all of your, sales, marketing, order management, service, CRM data, all in the same place in your same org. The low to no code. Really, what this is about is making a quicker time to value. So you can get to market much more quickly than you can on competing kind of more legacy platforms. And obviously, we're built on the world's #1 CRM. Trust is our #1 directive. So your data, your customers' data is all going to be safe. So B2B and B2C, they're running on the same platform. There's some overlap, so your product catalog, integrations, cart, those are sort of shared between the two, but there's a notable difference in the runtime. So Aura is the runtime for B2B, the B2B solution. It has a flow-based checkout. And then on the B2C side, we're using a new runtime called Lightning Web Runtime. And it's component-based. I'll talk about it in just a minute, but it includes OMS. So why Lightning Web Runtime? So, it's more performant, so it's built for a B2C kind of experience. It's component-based, so you can use Lightning Web components all throughout, and you're not giving up flow. Flow is still there. Modern tooling and development language, so if you're comfortable with React, Angular, you're going to be successful on LWR. And I'll turn it back over to Carly.
Okay, so as you just heard from Jeremy, we have B2C on LWR, we have B2B on Aura, and we know that it's not ideal to have two separate stacks. So our really vision for the future is to bring these two together and to get B2B on LWR. So I would say our guiding vision for the future is having a unified experience on LWR. You can easily spin up a B2B site or a B2C site using shared components. And there are two other main pillars of this vision. The first is one, public APIs, and then the second is building blocks. So building blocks are really special, and the beauty here is that they unlock the ability to take any kind of page and allow that page to be broken up into any number of small or large components. So when you're looking at the screen and you're seeing the product detail page broken up into a number of different building blocks. This gives you far more flexibility when it comes to customization. So if you want to make one change, you're not having to replace the entire page or the entire experience. You can make that one change and swap out one of the building blocks, for instance. So this strategy is also going to apply to checkout as well. So when we think about the future of checkout for Salesforce Commerce, it is a unified checkout on LWR for B2B and B2C. So specifically, this means one shared public API for B2B and for B2C. It means shared components, again, across B2B and B2C, and it means a consumer-grade user experience. So this is important because, as we've already heard from Jeremy, one of the major trends is that B2B buyers expect a B2C-like experience. They don't want a clunky, old-school B2B buying experience. They want something that's smooth and B2C-like. So that is something that we want to be providing and focused on. A couple other main benefits here, that you're able to configure the experience directly in Experience Builder. So that's a major advantage. And then also, you're building for customization. We want it to be really easy for you to make checkout function in the way that you want it to. We know we can't solve for every use case, but we can unlock you to customize it to your liking. So we've been talking, or at least I've said customization several times, and I want to dig into what that really means and what does that look like. So from my standpoint, there are essentially 4 different levels of customization. And the first 3 we are hitting on and delivering in this upcoming release in summer 22. So the first level is configuration. And this means you can go directly into Builder and you can update things like labels. You can update field labels, you can update the ghost text, you can update the labels on a button, you can remove components, you can rearrange them, you can even toggle back and forth between different layouts. So again, directly in Builder. The second level is updating the Salesforce build components. So here you're going to be able to install app exchange solutions and surface things like tax rates or shipping methods from within the Salesforce out-of-the-box components. The third level is adding your own custom components. So you're going to see a demo of this in just a minute, but you'll be able to create your own custom components and then drop them directly into Builder and have them work with one-page checkout. The fourth level is headless, and this comes with a caveat where this is on our roadmap, so this is a journey. We are not headless yet, but eventually we want you to be able to use our public API with a completely custom UI. We're just not there yet. Okay, so let's quickly talk about where we are in this journey. This is sort of a look, bird's eye view at our roadmap. So summer 22, we are delivering an enhanced version of B2C on LWR checkout. Now you might be wondering, why are you delivering B2C on LWR? You just told us we already have that. That's true. However, the current version of B2C checkout on LWR is extremely limited. So we mean very limited configuration, no ability to customize really. So in this release in summer 22, we are enhancing B2C checkout. We are making sure that it's built with building blocks, so it's more modular. You're able to customize. We're offering 2 different layouts. One is one page, meaning all form fields are sort of visible to the shopper. The second is accordion, where there's kind of like some expand collapse behavior as the shopper goes through the flow. And then last, we are GAing our public API. So this is a pretty big release for us. This is kind of a short list. It's not everything we're delivering, but those are just some highlights. Next release, winter 23, we're going to be delivering a pilot for B2B on LWR. And so key here is would be a B2B template on LWR with some of the key B2B functionality, not everything, and I know this is not comprehensive, but at a minimum, we're looking at purchase order support, so your buyers can go through the process of paying with the purchase order and paying with multiple payment methods. The next release, spring 23, we are planning to GA B2B on LWR. So I think you're probably ready to actually see the product. So I'm going to pass it off to Jeremy, who's going to show you the shopper experience relatively quickly, and then we're going to have Ozzy give you the full developer view.
Thanks, Carly. There we go. Perfect. So what you're looking at right now is Alpine Group. This is a fictitious brand that we invented here at Salesforce. And so this is our B2C experience. So I'm going to jump into the persona of Lauren Bailey, a great, big fan of Alpine products. Now, her local grocery store doesn't carry her favorite chai energy drink anymore, so she Googled Alpine and came to the B2C site. So she goes right to drinks, energy drinks, and this has kind of, you know, the bells and whistles that you'll find in on B2C sites. So your search, refinement, promos. But here I find my special Alpine Energy chai flavored drink. So dig into that. I want to stock up because I haven't had any in a while. So I'll add to cart. View my cart. And I can adjust quantities or remove if I want, but in this case we'll just do checkout. And maybe it's, oh yeah, thank you. Normally I would use LastPass or something. And as you can see, this is the single page checkout, not the accordion. So. And in this case, I'm just going to have my billing address be the same as shipping address, but I can enter another one right here if I wanted to. Oh, one thing I didn't mention. So based on the address that I enter here, you get two different shipping methods. So I'm going to go ahead and go over to delivery method 2, 15. I see it updates. We've done some tax calculation here as well. But in this case, we'll just go ahead and place an order. And something went wrong, of course. Oh, Angel asked. Only happens in demos. Yes. Okay. Great. So B2C experience. This storefront, and Ozzy's about to show you, it was built with declarative drag and drop tools, and it's Salesforce, so it's easy to configure, it's easy to build. So, Ozzy.
Thank you, Jeremy. Hi, I'm Ozzy. I'm an engineer on the checkout experience team. The shopper experience, the guest shopper experience that Jeremy just showed you. So let me just get rid of a few things so that we can get to the meat. All right, there we go. I have everything I need. Perfect. Awesome. So a couple of things. We saw the out-of-the-box checkout experience over here. And our goal has always been to sort of maximize conversion and minimize friction as the shopper goes through their experience. I want to talk about how is the merchant experience going to look like and the developer experience going to look like. Carly has talked about the 4 levels of customization. So basically I'm going to be talking about the first and the third, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So let's say at Alpine, I spin up my store. Let's look at how the customization experience looks like at the first level. So this is our experience builder view for the checkout experience. As you can see over here that we have the pattern component checkout, but underneath it we have these child components. Jeremy showed you the one-page checkout, but you know, at Alpine we can change it to, let's say, one-page layout, or we could change it to accordion layout. When I move to accordion layout, you can see that the accordion layout is something where you fill out the information, you click next, then you go to shipping, you click next, payment, you click next. For the sake of simplicity, let's keep it all on one page, and then let's look at what we can customize. So, and at a higher level, there are certain things we can customize when it comes to theming and branding. We can change the colors, the text color. Come here, change it to blue. Is it visible? Yeah. So, as you can see, everything turns blue. Let's go back to black for now, or I could restore to default. The other things you can customize, let's say text styling, to match your theme and brand better. We have, you know, different levels of heading, different levels of paragraph, what kind of font weight, font style we want, size. So all those can be customized right here. And as you can see, that was at the higher level. Now, when it comes to individual components, there are other things that we can customize. So let's look at the checkout shipping address. Now, just as an example, checkout shipping address is, like I said, a subcomponent of the checkout component. And all these components you can see are right here. These are the components this page. Let me go back here. Yeah. Some examples of customizations other than styling and branding are, let's say, you know, I'm a shopper who has an account with Alpine. So, you know, I saved addresses over time, and I could have multiple addresses saved. So 3 addresses, 6 addresses. What's on the first page load? How many addresses you want to show? You can customize that right here. Then you can see there's a show more button. So when they click show more, how many more addresses you want to show? So, you know, you can choose that over here. Mind you, this is just a builder preview. There are other things we can change. Carly has already touched upon changing button labels. So we have this button, new address. I can change that to, let's say, something along the lines of add address, right? So you can see add address being reflected right here. There are other labels you can change within the address form. Do we want to show heading? Do we want, what kind of heading do we want? When we have the edit address button link, what label we're going to give it, so on and so forth. Just like that, you know, this was on one component. You have other components where you can make some customizations as well in terms of labels and some look and feel besides the color and styling. Let's say at Alpine, we want to have a line at the end, a checkbox right before the place order button, which says something along the lines of, I accepted the terms and conditions. So when I look at the components list, there's nothing like that over here. So this is where the developer experience comes in. Why not create it right now, right? So you can see there's no component like that right now. We have a bunch here, but not like that. So how's that going to look like? Before I dive into that, there are certain tools that are available to me at Alpine that I could use to really streamline my process of creating a custom component. One of them, Salesforce Cli. You can find the documentation online. It comes with the tool SFCC, which is really key to what I'm going to show you. The other thing is, my IDE of choice is VS Code. Let me move that closer. One of the reasons why I like VS Code is that it comes with an extension pack. So if you go into VS Code, go into extensions and just search for Salesforce, we get the Salesforce extension pack. Obviously I have that already installed. And you will see what I'm talking about. So these tools will help me streamline some commands. Now I could use a plain terminal command and use the command line interface to use the same SFDX commands, but I still want it faster than that. So here we go. Now once you have that, you have the SFDX, you have the Salesforce extension pack. This is where VS Code's shortcut. Sorry, I'm gonna be sure that'd be helpful. Command-Shift-P, and we can search for SFDX right here. So, first thing I want to do before creating a custom component is to connect my SFDX with my org. In this case, I have a locally running Scratch org, and I have already authorized it. So the first thing we want to do is authorize an org. I've already done that in the interest of time. But when you click on this, it will open up the login on the browser. To use that, actually, let me take a step back. Sorry, I missed that. First thing you want to do is SFDX create project. When you create the project, you already get a template to use. When you have used this template, this is where the meat will go. And we have this SFDX project.json that's created for us. And the only thing you need to do is add your own org's login URL. Then we go into Command-Shift-P, and then we do authorize an org, opens up a browser, you put in your username and password, you're good to go. The third thing we want to do is, again, Command-Shift-P, create a Lightning Web component. I want to give it a file name, let's say, terms and conditions. I'm going to choose the directory. So the template already created these directories for me, so I'm just going to put it in ForceApp main default LWC right there. Now this command basically creates a template for me, an LWC template for me. So what it generated was an HTML, a JS, and a JS.xml. Now let's look back at our experience builder. So there are a couple of things we want to do, right? First of all, I want to display the component in this components list. To do that, there's a third level of documentation that you should look at, is configure a component for Experience Builder. I'm not going to through all of this. There's this fun stuff over here that you can do. It talks about how you can customize, remember the label properties that we exposed for the components, you can do those over here. You could do stuff like, hey, I'm on a property which is a type string, and you do some stuff with it. It could be a Boolean, like show header or not show header, and those values then connect with your LWC component over here. But what I'm interested in is number one, to make a component, LWC component, usable in Experience Builder, the first thing I want to do is expose true. So let's quickly do that. This is my code. Is it too small? Here we go. Is exposed true. Save that. Next step it says is to create a drag and drop component so that it appears in component builder. I need to do Lightning. I need to set one of the targets, create a target called Lightning Community Page. These are the only things we need to do. Now, in the interest of time, I have already done that. It's a very small piece of code, so I'm just gonna developer's favorite command, Command-C, Command-V, right here. Now, one thing that I added over here is, so you can see the same things is exposed true. I added a master label. So master label is what you're basically going to see here. Yes, my component is named this, but master label is what you can see over there. So this is what I was talking about, target Lightning Community Page. Now, let's put something in the component, right? So we said that we want to put a checkbox. Again, let's look at what do we have from the Lightning Web Components base component library. We have this, again, you can search for Lightning Web Components. You can look at their other components that are there. But I want an input. So I'm going to look for Lightning input. Now, Lightning input documentation would tell you different kinds of inputs you can create over here. I'm trying to reuse as much as possible that's out there. Or you could go the plain vanilla way where you create your checkbox on your own. But let's reuse some of this stuff. So I have Lightning input. In the interest of time, I have that already with me. Let's go here. Let's put that in our HTML right there. So it's a simple Lightning input component type checkbox, and it says label I agree to terms and conditions. Give it a name. We're good to go. Not going to put anything in the JS right now, but it's because it's a pretty simple one. Now here's the magic. Why I was adamant on using VS Code. I can right-click on this, and I can say SFDX deploy source to org. It's gonna. We have it already authorized with SFDX. It knows where our org is. It has us logged in. It's successfully ran. So let's go back. Come into our experience builder. Let me do a page refresh, just so that we have the latest stuff. Since we want the component on the checkout page, so let's go there. Let's look at this, right? Is it here? Oh, there we go. Terms and conditions. So I'm going to drop it at the end. So I'm going to drag it and maybe drop it right here. Did I drop it correctly? Oops, wrong place. Let me delete it. Go back. Components. Drag and drop right here. Oh, there we go. Now we have our terms and conditions right here. Next step, all I got to do is click publish. Now this is a very, very, very simple example right here. If I give you a peek at, let's say, one of these, let's say at the top we have this, the saved addresses in a visual picker style. This we created using